folks, this is Iliya with TWRAPS, and I'll show you how to install the interior wrap kit on your Lucid Air. The first piece we'll do is the easiest, so I'll do them in a sequence of difficulty. So I'll start with the easy ones, and I advise you do the same so that you build up some confidence and experience before you go onto the more difficult ones. So I would say this is one of the easier ones, so I'll start with this. Open this a little bit, grab the piece. Notice that it's cut on the back, so you want to peel off just the front part. And by the way, make sure this is clean. You don't want any dirt or anything else to kind of show up under the vinyl. Now and by the way, in case you haven't handled vinyl before, if you don't press it hard, it sticks just a little bit, so you can always lift it up and reposition it. Now I think my alignment is good around this, so I'll just press it so it sticks harder. And for now I'll skip the two sides. I'll just do the middle. You can also use the provided squeegee to handle the curves here. Next up, we'll peel off the rest of it. Another thing to know about vinyl, actually two things. One is that you need a decently warm temperature to install this. So if it's super cold, preheat your car first. I advise at least 60 degrees Fahrenheit, 70 would be better. And the other thing is vinyl is very stretchable, so especially for the long thin pieces, be careful not to stretch it. Now we have to, actually at this point I would need to put the edges in. I'll use the plastic part of the squeegee, not the felt part. So I can close this and finish my installation. And for this large area here, I'll use the felt part. That's it, the first piece is done. If you see any air gaps under it, just squeegee them out towards the sides like this. Okay, let's move to the next piece. Next up, we'll do this trim here. Now, for these pieces, alignment is probably the hardest part. The way I'd like to align this is I'll start with this corner here, but I'll only align the corner and I'll ignore that it doesn't align here. You'll see that later. And then I'll just hold it with one finger and align the length like this. Now I'll apply the long part, and you see that once the long part lays down, the other one folds and actually starts following the curve. Next up, we'll do the long dash piece. I'll peel off the entire piece, but because I cannot install it all at once, I'll just put it here gently so that it doesn't fall to the ground. And now alignment again. We will aim for the corner here. And by the way, make sure you get decent lighting, headlamp, or just some external light. But seeing what's happening is rather important. Okay, now look at that. I have this corner aligned and about 6 inches or so of the line aligned and stuck. And now, before I proceed with that, I'll align some more in the length. And again, let me remind you, vinyl is very stretchable, so don't pull hard. If you do, you end up with excess. And if you do end up with excess, you can use a utility knife or scissors to carefully cut it out. Now, I have some 15 or so inches already applied, and I will apply entirely so that I can finish this part over here. And then I'll move on to the passenger seat to finish the installation. Now also notice that I'm guiding the vinyl with my fingers. You also have to do that. This is coming out perfect. Okay, now I'll move to the passenger seat and finish the installation. Now, let's finish the passenger side. Just leave it on the bottom edge. And now I'll leave the corner for last. Before that, I will apply this. And by the way, I get asked this a lot. What happens if one day you decide you want to change this or just get rid of it or anything? Well, it's very easy to remove. You just start peeling off from one side and then just pull. It's super easy. Now we do get a little bit more pressure here. Let me adjust my lighting a bit. And if you get wrinkles like that, it's very easy to handle them. Just peel the vinyl up to the wrinkle. Just press hard with your fingers and they will eventually go away. Now let's move on to the doors. Okay, we're on to the front passenger door. And by the way, pay attention to this. Each cutout would have letters. P is for passenger side, and D is for driver side, and F is for front, B is for back. This is how you tell where each piece goes. So PF, passenger front. I will start with this piece. Peel off carefully so you don't stretch the vinyl. And the other thing to be careful about is to avoid making the vinyl stick to itself. If that happens, shoot us an email, we'll send you a replacement piece. Now this one I'll align here at the hole, but just have in mind for the driver front door, since it has more buttons, the vinyl is a bit more flimsy, and you can also start alignment here at this corner. Again, take your time with alignment. Whether you're successful at this installation or not is mostly about alignment. The rest is pretty easy. And if you don't like it, peel off, try again. Okay, so this is turning out to be more difficult than expected, so I'll just start from here. And I will follow the straight line. Notice that I'm holding the vinyl with one hand and I'm guiding it with the other. It's important to guide it because these surfaces are curvy. Now I'll do the bottom piece. Next up, the bottom piece. On this one, I'll start alignment here. Notice that the vinyl goes just a little bit inside so that you don't have any exposed wood. And then we'll guide on the upper trim. Something like this. I'm getting some pressure here. Let's see if we can fix it. Yes. And now, when you reach the curve, stop on the curve and do this part first. And now don't leave it at the curve, you stretch the vinyl. Instead, just do like this, leave that gap for now. And just carefully rub it with your finger. When you apply vinyl this way, by mostly using your fingers, there is an added benefit that there are actually two. One is that you reduce the risk of creating wrinkles, and the other one is that you, by rubbing it, you warm it up, and when you warm the vinyl up, it becomes softer and conforms to curves better. That's why for pieces like that, I always prefer just to use my fingers instead of squeegee. And now we have everything else perfectly applied except this. Now for this, just start rubbing around it like this. And for the final few small wrinkles, I'll just use the squeegee here. And look at that. Easy breezy.